Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here. Today is Thursday, August 13th already. Can you believe it? Before I bring on our special guest, I just want to say that we are live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Um, so, okay, it's time to bring on a great special guest that I know. She was not only a therapist of mine at the New Braunfels Regional Hospital. Oh, I'm getting that wrong, but it's okay. And I broke my hip, and but also she does is she runs the stroke support group, which I have a big passion for that. So without further ado, let's bring on Stacy Larson.
Hi.
How
Hello,
are you?
everybody. Good.
Yeah, so glad that you made it. I mean, this is thank you for doing this.
Oh, definitely. It's a pleasure. I'm so excited to talk with you.
Yeah, I'll bring up some comments too. You can see
Oh, yeah.
in a little bit, but
Okay. Same too.
so maybe you could just start by introducing yourself, and then we can just go from there.
Perfect. Yes. So I'm Stacy Larson. I've been an OT for 3 years. I went to the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. Um, I was a teacher at first. That was my first career. And so that comes into play a lot through teaching new ways of moving. And I'm always teaching, right, with OT,
Yeah.
new ways of moving, new ways of doing different things, if it be transferring when you've had a stroke or different things when you've broken a hip. So that's kind of my first job and I love teaching. And um, since I've been in OT, I have fallen. I really like the neuro side of it, so I really am trying to get my specialization in working with individuals who've had a neurological event, as such
Right.
as a stroke. And so I'm halfway through my certification in that, but that has been paused with COVID. So that's as far as professionally, that's me. I lead the stroke support group, and but then personally, I've been married for 8 years to my husband. We live in Schertz, Texas, which is just a little bit north of San Antonio. And then we have a daughter who just turned 6. So it's,
Yeah.
yes,
That that
yeah.
that's awesome. Serena, if you see, I don't know, can you see the comments?
Yes, I see it. That's good.
Serena
Perfect.
is from Nova Scotia, Canada, and
Oh,
she had a stroke as
really? Oh,
well. Yeah.
okay.
And I'll bring up some comments first, and then we can go from there. But
Great.
Salute,
I'm so
her,
glad to see everybody.
yeah, this is great. And Salute is actually her husband had a stroke. Um,
I've seen a couple of their videos that they've posted. I've been following along a little
oh,
bit.
good, good, good.
Yeah.
Um, and Naomi, her husband had a stroke too. So we get a lot of caregivers here, which is pretty
Oh, that,
awesome.
yes, yes.
So we have a lot of you have a lot of roles that you play at the hospital.
Yes.
Um, Not only an OT, but you lead my passion, this stroke support group,
Hmm.
which that's why I do what I do. You know, doing this show because it's all trying to support emotionally these stroke survivors. I'm sure you've seen it all.
Hmm. Yeah, and I've been working at this New Braunfels Regional Rehab Hospital. You got it right. I've been working here for about a year and a half, and me and a coworker, Terry, we took it over the stroke support group in January. And
Oh,
so
nice.
what we try to do at our hospital is kind of switch the focus, right? So first, the focus for the last 2 years has been the person who ran it was a case manager, which was great. And so some of her case management side, some of the people that have come, the topics have been about caregiver burden, about how to help your loved ones who've had a stroke. And so we've gone through that. And so now it turned over to the therapy side of it. And so I'm really passionate about, yeah, helping individuals who've had a stroke after they've gone through rehab. So that's the biggest thing for me. Just because you've gone through our inpatient rehab, and I work really in outpatient is my kind of where I work. You're not done ever, as you know, with
Oh no,
rehab
yeah,
or with learning or supporting. And so I'm so thankful that I get to be a part of the stroke support group and kind of help that. Um, I know how we do it in our stroke support. I don't know everything, right? I'm not the knower of all things.
yeah,
So we have wonderful guest speakers that come every month, just like you do, just like I am here. How
yes,
you guest speakers? That's our format too. We have guest speakers that come, and talk about how to reduce stress, right? With
Right.
caregivers and with individuals who've had a stroke. And just different resources in the community. Diet's a big thing. And so we've done a lot of meal planning and we've had people come and do kind of a meal right there, and we've had a meal prep time. And so it's been really fun. And I am so excited about the immense amount of resources that are out there, and you just have
Yeah.
to tap into them. And so
Right.
it's
Right.
fun to be able to bring those resources to the forefront so individuals can know kind of what's out there.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, because when I had my stroke coming up on 10 years ago, I was more embarrassed that I had the stroke when I first went to the support group. I wanted to hide in the back.
Yeah.
But now I want to be the one out to actually talk to people, to let them know you're not, I know they feel isolated, or, I mean, how do you deal with that? Do you talk to them? Is there still a support group going on during this COVID?
We haven't had one really, and we're trying to talk. We just had a meeting about that, how we're going to do it. We might be doing interviews like this where we would just interview the guest speaker like you're doing, and then send it to the email. Since I don't know if we do it live just because of my timing of it,
Right.
but out like that. We haven't been meeting. The last time we met, I guess, was February. It's been a long time because you're supposed to meet in March. We meet the third weekend, the third Thursday of every month. So
Right.
the third
Right.
day of March was kind of when it all started, right? We were supposed to meet March 19th, and then all of this happened, and so we had to cancel that one, and we've had to, because we're not really letting anybody. We hold it here at the hospital,
Right.
so we're letting one visitor in per family member that's here. They get to have one visitor from 1 to 7, but we're not having a big group of people. So we haven't done it since February, and I miss it. So it's so great to be here today and kind of do this.
Feel like a support group leader,
Yes.
like you are. You're That's pretty awesome, because
Yeah.
and you're also studying in the neuro something or another.
So our hospital, it's called NBRRH. It's neuro and then IFRAH. And it's based in California. And this guy, he's an OT. His name is Waleed Alaboudi. He does great stroke
Wow.
rehab. And his gym is amazing. And watching his videos, look it up. It's neuroifra.com. Look at his videos. It's amazing. And so our hospital is so wonderful. They pay for us to get trained. And so I was
Nice.
able to get the training. They came, instead of going to California, they brought the training to here, to New Braunfels. And
Okay.
so all OTs, PTs from all around the US that work for our company and our sister hospitals came here and did a week-long course. And it's supposed to be 2 weeks, but the second part we haven't done yet because of COVID. So I'm really excited to finish that. And it's really helped me, you learn things in school, and then you practice and you learn then the right kind of, some different techniques. And so it's really changed the way that I treat individuals who've had a stroke. So
Right. When I was inpatient, when I lived there for a couple of weeks, you did 1 week there, because I remember during the cafeteria area, it was kind of
yeah.
off limits. Or what is that?
Yes, were
What,
you there when we had it?
for the first week,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
yeah.
Yep, that's what it was. And so it was really great. And I'm still studying. Okay, yeah. I don't know what the website is. How do I do that?
Um, yeah, I know. I know this is so. Is it the? Let's see here. I can actually type it in here, even though I'm not. Or if you have your phone there, you could type it into the comments if you see him. Or we could tell Salud and she could do it. Neuro, she's got part of it.
Neuro.
Neuro.
So it is, let me make sure I give you the right one. Give me 1 minute. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's great. I'm just so glad that you're here, and we were able to make. Now, not to take it away, but you had a little bout with COVID, or you thought so, or something, right?
I did.
Oh
I
my
did.
God.
So, well, yeah, I mean, just like all of our patients coming in, right? We test them, and they have to have two positives to come in. And so I I'm mostly outpatient, but I work with inpatient when I have a break. And so with
Sure.
inpatient, we just gave somebody a shower like we do. We help them
Sure.
get independent in showering before they go home. And then she tested positive the following day.
Oh, so you
Or
have,
so
okay.
let me correct myself. She started showing symptoms the next day and then was tested positive. We had masks on, of course,
Right.
but she did not because she was taking a shower. And I believe that's probably where I got it, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't
Wow.
bad. My husband got it too. So I was
What?
off work. I was off
Oh,
work for 10 days. And so that wasn't very exciting, but it wasn't bad. I'm good to health. I had some symptoms, but nothing. I never had a fever.
wow. So did you
So,
get blood after that to, what you
oh
call
God, hold on.
that? We're playing hide and seek here. It's
I'm in
okay.
a conference room. I'm in the conference room. Obviously, there is a light sensor and it goes off.
Ah,
Sorry.
not a
Um,
problem.
And so I haven't yet. I need to schedule it. I honestly need to schedule it. So I've been back at work this is my second week back at work, and I need to schedule that for sure because I want to give, yeah.
Wow.
Um,
And so you get the website, right?
I have the website. I'm trying to figure out how to do comments. I don't quite
Oh,
know how to add.
do are you on your phone to see the video? Because if you turn it down, it worked perfect. But on mine, it's neuro something or another.
Yeah, I'm on my iPad. So it's neuro
Let's see.
dash
Oh, neuro.
NEURO dash
Oh, spelling it wrong. Salute, you're good at this. Come on.
IFRAH.org. I wish I could do it. I don't want to. Let's see.
Yeah. And Lynette Price is saying hello here. Oh, see, yeah, you're talking. So now your mic went away. We can't hear you. I know how this goes. Trust me, been there, done this. But yeah. So I'm the. Oh, can we hear you? Not yet. I mean, I think that's the problem when you start typing in the device that you're using to put the comments in. The volume goes away. So you may have to log off, log on. A real quick little you probably have to log out and log on again. I think I think that's the only way to do it. And then oh, look at, there we go. Oh, now they're all coming in. That's it right there. Salute. I think you got it. The right website. The teacher is paying attention here. Let's see. Can't hear you. See that? I think you need to. I think come off and get back on. I think. But okay, yeah, I'm reading lips. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I'm gonna say hello, Salute. Nice to see you, Serena. Always good seeing you. And here we go. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, Stacy.
I think I'm
Can't
back.
see you.
Yes.
You're back, but we can't see you.
Am I back?
Let's see.
You're doing so good.
Yes, you got the other time just before. You have the camera little thing or thingamajiggy. Okay, so neurorafh.com. I think that's it.
Okay. Can you hear me? I can't see anybody anymore.
Yeah, I can hear you, just can't see you. There's your there you are. Can't hear you. Can't. I don't know what the issue is there, but let's see. Yeah, no volume there. But I guess we'll wait there. So yeah, salute Naomi, David. Nice to see you, David. Yeah, the little stories on all our stroke survivors and Vietnam Vets. Hope everybody's doing great. Tater, nice to see you. And sounds good. Sounds good, of course. Now let's see.
Okay, we're gonna get it. This is gonna be the ticket. This is gonna
Yes,
be
it will be.
We got it.
Hey, Carolyn, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. This is typically the normal time, but so glad you guys are here. And have a special guest. If you don't know, it's Stacy Larson.
Are you there?
And I'm here. Can't see you though.
I can hear me.
Can't. Yeah.
It says my volume is on. So I think we're okay.
Oh, the volume is fine. It's it's just a picture. There you are.
Here I am.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm not touching anything else.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
That's
hey,
it.
So is that
that is it. That is the website, but it's .org actually is the only thing. It's .org, org instead of com. I might have said com, so that might completely be my fault. I apologize.
I can't. No. I can't remember anyway. So,
but great resource and clinic, and I wish I could. I hope one day can go there and get more training. But that's kind of where I'm getting my training because I knew I wanted to work with adults, but I wasn't quite sure where I wanted my specialization to lie, and that's
right.
So.
That's awesome. Don Ogan, he had a stroke too.
Hi.
And bring some other ones that were up here. I don't know if you knew. Okay, let's see. Did you see the? There you go. Yeah. That's correct. Awesome. And Lynette Price, she's a stroke survivor 8 times.
Oh wow! Ours.
Yeah, 8 stroke.
Yeah.
She's incredible. Absolutely positive person. But so as far as the how do you keep track of all your patients? I mean, you have quite a few patients, and how do you track their progress? I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I have obviously set goals. It's so hard to, when you're talking about goals and all the things that we have to do, right? So that the things that you have to do as far as an OT goes in order to be compliant with everything. So you set goals, but some of the things, they're just not quantifiable, right? The goals that you see for individuals with strokes, as far as having activation, you might not see movement, but I feel like today I didn't see any movement, but I felt activation in his 5th digit when we were trying to do some flexion. Now, it's so hard to kind of say that to the higher ups and tell them he's doing great, he's making progress. The individual was about a year out, and he didn't have this information to seek therapy right away, which is really crazy. The doctor didn't send him for therapy right after his stroke, which happens to a lot of people. So he came to us a year out, but even that, it's not quantifiable. So it's so hard to track that. So I make sure every little thing, it's a praise. I really mark it up. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Look at that. Did you feel that? He's like, I didn't see it. And I'm like, it's not about, you don't see the movement first. You feel the muscle activate first, and then you'll see movement. So like even praising just the small things and documenting that and taking note of that, and making sure, it's hard when you see those little, I'm sure, little itty bitty steps. It's not, sometimes it's big, right? In the beginning, hopefully it's really big improvements. And then after that, it's little steps, little improvements. But really writing those down, and I would really, if you're still working in rehab or you're a stroke survivor, to write those steps down, make a journal. Say, on this day, I felt muscle activation in my 5th digit. Write it down. And so when you feel discouraged, you can look back and I am improving. It might be a little bit, but I'm improving. I had muscle activation in this, and I can't see it move yet, but it's getting there, right? And so really trying to emphasize that, because after the first, 3 months and 6 months after you get those big improvements, and then it starts slowing down. But I see people who get improvements years after. And so, but it's very, very little. But write those down. Those big things.
Yeah, it's a little, what is it? Little steps
Yeah.
lead to victories, or
Oh yeah.
little. But I was told. I mean, I've been going to therapy. I try to go at least 6 months a year for the last 10 years, and I was told in my first year I plateaued. That's all you're not gonna. But I know neuroplasticity. You got to work at it every day,
Mm-hmm.
and for you to keep doing making your patients feel positive and happy, that means a lot to like stroke survivors. I mean, I know that personally.
Yeah.
If you're telling me I did great, well, I did great. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah, I try to especially definitely end the session with that. Like, this is what you improved on. This is what I saw that you did great on. Here's what we're going to work on next time. And like to make
right,
sure they know, like, this is, you may look how great this improvement was this session. Because for me, for outpatient, I see them just, for just, usually depending on 2 to 3 times a week for an hour, and that's it. So a lot of
right,
it is them doing that repetition at home, but making sure they know, okay, this is what you need to work on at home, and trying to give them homework, because it is based on your improvements, based on how much you repeat that and do it at home. And as you
right.
know, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and it's funny because I was um, Sarah. I was working with Sarah too,
yeah,
and I like the fact that she called me on my phone once in a while to check in and see how I'm doing. I mean, that means a lot. I thought that
yeah,
was just terrific because I've never had a therapist ever call me and say, "Hey, how you doing?" They just gave me the T-shirt after they said I graduated.
yeah,
Take your shirt and go.
go,
You know,
yeah,
and move on. I know it's an insurance issue probably with a lot of people, so
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. So how is everything else going there? That you've been
Good.
back 2 weeks.
We're been back 2 weeks. So yeah, so when all of COVID started, our outpatient actually got closed because we
Yeah,
really were trying to be careful not letting outpatients in. So I was actually furloughed for a month.
that
And
I heard. I heard some of them done it.
so
Yeah,
bored out of my mind. I think I painted every room in my house. But I got a plan, so I never can be still. So I
yeah.
created, so me and a coworker talked, and we met with a driving rehab specialist, and we created a driving readiness program for
Yeah.
our patients that just got launched today. I did an in-service today for the rest of our staff to learn about what that looks like. And so that's what I've been busy doing when we've been down. Because when I came back from furlough, we had to kind of build up our patients again, right?
Right.
Because we were
Right.
pretty slow. So during that downtime, I made use of that downtime so I can help patients. Because a lot of individuals, right, they're independents, they want to go back to driving. That's one of the first questions. When can I start back driving? And so we created that program. Um, and so we will be doing the clinical therapy and the assessments um, here at an outpatient, and then we're teamed up with a driving specialist to do the behind the wheel driving test.
Right.
And so
Right.
it's been really exciting um, time. So I'm glad that that downtime has really helped me be able to get that program started. So we
I,
just got that program launched, and
I'm
today I
glad.
guess is the official launch day.
Now, do they have to get? Because I know with me, I think my neurologist is a little different because I wanted to drive when I was working at the time,
Mm-hmm.
only for 2 years after, and then see you later. That's kind of how it goes, but no big deal. I asked my neurologist. My company says they need a prescription for me to drive.
Mm-hmm.
So he wrote me a prescription. He didn't know if I was driving or not. I thought, wow, I'm a stroke
Yeah.
survivor 2 years out, and he's going to tell me or a year out. He just wrote me because I thought you have to,
Yeah.
when you have a stroke, your doctor has to kind of report it to someone.
Yeah. Not in Texas. So Texas is a non-report state.
Oh,
Every state is different. Set
oh,
up in like California, the doctor is required to send
okay,
to their state highway department that you've had a neurological event. In Texas, it's
right.
not. It's not. Um, the Sorry, trying to read the comments too. Not so.
Oh, yeah. I'll wait.
So Texas, you don't have to report it. Okay, and so I see that a
Wow.
lot. Doctors just are like, "Oh yeah, sure. You're this much time out. You can do it," and they've never seen you drive.
Right.
They've not checked the assessments that you need to drive, your vision. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. I mean, for our tests, we have a list of 12 vision tests. You know, we have motor and
Oh,
coordination, sensation. I mean, if you
oh,
can't feel your feet, how can you feel the brake? And so there's a bunch of tests that go into it. And so it's
wow.
good that doctors are like signing off so you can drive, but it really it'd be best for you to get that. And then if you need more therapy for strengthening or anything else, I can do that. Or if you need driving therapy, his name is Joe
Right.
Francis. He can do that for you and do driving therapy, and then add modifications to your car and teach you how to use
Right.
those modifications. And so that way, then that goes in your medical record, and
Right.
you can do that. And that happens a lot, Salute, where their driver license are just taken away automatically. And our goal is to, you know, and all depends what the severity of the stroke is too. I had a patient.
Yeah. She's in
Oh,
California,
okay.
by the way.
Yeah, so that might
So
be
that's
that
why.
might be why. So yeah. And I
Yeah.
have a lot of patients who are higher level strokes, right? People who are high level, they kind of jump, you know, they got the TPA, they got jump right back. In their first outpatient appointment, they drive to me. And I'm
Wow. Really?
how did you get here? I always ask. If I, how did you get here? Oh, I drove. And I'm like, what do you mean? You had a stroke, you know, a month ago. And I think, you know, they, for the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, really recommend that you wait at least 3 months or definitely at least 6 months to drive. Um, and that's what they recommend, the National Highway and Traffic Safety. Now, I have a patient who's 2 months out. I think she's ready to start driving. We're going to wait until the
Wow.
3 month mark, and I need to get approval from her doctor. So I always get approval from the doctor first, to start the program. And then they sign, and
What?
then we start the program, and then we move on. But so I have a patient who's ready at 3 months, but I have a patient who is not ready, and we got to talk about not driving, driving termination, which is sad.
Yeah. That is too
Yeah, I
bad.
don't like
I,
things sad,
I'm.
but our goal is to keep them driving, right? And then to keep them safe. That's just the most dangerous thing you do is driving. And you're
Oh
putting so
yeah.
many people other things. So making sure you're safe and have the skills, just like having the skills, because your body's changed, right? Lots of things the way your body moves has changed. Your vision might have changed, and so making sure that you can drive with those new changes, you can. Obviously, you've adapted, and you're able. You know, most you're able. You've learned how to dress differently. You've learned how to shower differently. You might need to learn how to
Yeah.
drive a little different with the way your
Right.
body is moving differently, and so that you might need some help with that. And so just trying to treat the whole person, right? And so that's kind of a big thing for us for first this. Go ahead, go get the track. Yes.
That's awesome.
And so I think that I love that I'm able to do that, because I love about OT. You're treating the whole individual. You're not just like, oh, we're gonna just make sure that you can shower and bathe and toilet and bye. You know, like, no, keeping your independence, and 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 so is a huge thing, and part of the independence is driving. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so
You saw. You said you saw Salute and Tom. He had the
yes.
stroke, and
Hmm.
yeah. So and Tom
Yeah,
always
he
often said,
offers.
"Oh, that could be a little risky there."
Yeah.
Salute. I haven't driven since December, well, January. I haven't
Okay.
driven the car.
Okay.
First of all, Barbara doesn't trust me,
Mm.
but
Was it your right hip? Remind me. Was it your right hip?
my right hip, the affected side of my stroke too.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
But
Yeah. Um. So yeah. So mine was not. Yeah. And that's the thing. And
oh,
the big thing is like educating other therapists too to talk about driving with inpatients. So usually, right, the continuation of care. Usually, you start in the hospital. You've had a stroke, right? You might go to acute care, and hopefully, you go to an inpatient rehab like ours, like New Braunfels
right,
Regional Rehab. And in that setting, I'm trying to train therapists to talk about driving, and really is it's like right now you need to not drive for a little while, and then talk to your doctor, and then we have this program, and there's a lot of programs like that around the United States. If you go to AOTA.org, which is the association of the American Association of
I know these acronyms, trust
I
me.
know.
I,
That's the end of it. American Occupational Therapy Association.org. And if you search up driving specialists, there's a list of them all around the US. And
really?
so you can look that up if you're interested in seeing a driving specialist and don't live in the area I am.
Right.
You can look up AOTA.org, and in their search button, you can search for that and
Right.
find one.
Okay, after salute. I can drive. I actually offered Barb yesterday. Say, you know what? I'm ready to drive. I'm walking. I'm ready to go. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But when I had my first stroke, and I was at St. David's, you know, where that
Mm-hmm.
in Austin there, and they had a driving class,
Oh, good. Yeah, a lot of them
but
do.
I didn't go
Yeah.
because my doctor gave me prescription, so I
Oh,
thought I was
yeah. You
ready.
see, yeah, and that's the thing. And that's when, and I'm trying to like also our liaisons, our marketers, they're going to doctors' offices, and I'm sharing them with the information so they can go to the doctors and say, you can't just don't just sign it off. They really need to be safe and get a little better. And it doesn't take very long. It's not going to take you 3 months. For me, for mine, yes, that's exactly it. Thank you, Salud.
She's
Um,
she's
she's on it.
yeah, oh yeah, she is.
And so, it's just for me, it's all, it is a lot of testing, but it really only takes about 2 hours. So two different sessions for my part of it. And then it's behind the wheel, but I don't want to send you on the behind the wheel test if you're not ready. And so that might include some strengthening, lower body and upper body strengthening, some coordination activities. And so we'll do some coordination. Um, I love it. Man is in parentheses. And so, and so we
Yes.
work on that therapy first before we get to the behind the wheel. But it, depending on what we see, and so that's just a big part of it. And I think a way that I love that my hospital is stroke certified, and so it supports the whole person, right?
Well,
Not just like, oh, make sure it's making sure you can do the basic things, but also the big things like driving, and and then having that support, so that support group. So I'm so proud of my hospital that they're giving me the time to do this, and we have a support group, and so it's been great.
very true. Very true. I absolutely love that. I mean, some people don't like the hospital, and totally understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of a weird one. I could have stayed there longer if this COVID thing
Oh yeah.
hadn't happened
Mm-hmm.
because I got so much out of there. The therapy, if everybody doesn't know that therapy at your place, inpatient, I was like 4 hours. It was so intense. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I felt beat up, tired after, but it was a good therapy because you're in there to just
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that. You're there to work, and you're working
Oh
hard.
yeah.
It's not like my other places. Take an hour or a half hour, take a break. No, was it like 4 hours or 3 hours straight or something?
Yeah.
I was going.
Yeah, we do that. Sometimes we do that. So it's 3 hours a day, at least 5 days a week. And sometimes to work on endurance, some patients can't handle that yet. So we give them breaks. But some patients were like, yeah, they can push it. They need that. And so doing it 3 hours in a row helps with that endurance and pushes you really hard. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. But but I'm there's so many.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
It's so true. So, and and developing curriculums, right? I felt like I was developing a curriculum when I was developing this Driving Readiness Program, and it was back into the teaching of creating a lesson plan and getting everything together was really fun. And so yeah, you're always teaching, and so that's and the thing about it is I'm always learning, right?
Right.
And so as I'm learning, then I want to teach other people what I've learned, and so it's kind of goes both ways, right? I'm hopefully
Yeah,
always learning too.
exactly. Now, when you do an OT, there's got to be textbooks, and you just follow those rules. But do you kind of because you alter those, not the rules, but some patients recover differently than others. Um, so I wonder if do you do that? Is that something you do, or this is
Yeah,
all
I
we
mean,
do? And
I think that with stroke rehabilitation, In school, there's a lot packed into that in master's programs. It's 2 years, a little over 2 years, and you learn the basics of everything, right? Just a little bit, a
Sure.
little snippet to do what you need to do, and you learn a lot more when you start seeing patients. And so I knew a little bit about it. I knew that I had to do repetition, right? You knew you have to make sure you don't get shoulder. There's very simple things like shoulder pain. So we really want to work on scapular mobilization right away so you don't get shoulder pain, and you protect that shoulder so you don't get subluxation. You learn about,
That's me.
yeah, flexion and making sure that you don't get that fist, right? You don't want this tight fist that you're like this. And so working on that right away so you decrease that tone, so you don't get spasticity, right? A little bit of tone is good so you can activate those muscles. And so kind of basics like that. But with this new class that I'm learning, I have flashcards. I
Oh,
have like
good.
my little note cards I use. And for the patients, I plan out, okay, based on their IFRA, I need to do this and this and this. And I really go through it very carefully, and step by step. And you can mold it, right? So if we're
Right.
doing weight bearing and we're doing different things, I try to make it client centered, but that's kind of, I do more, yes, more step by step with what I'm learning, because one of the biggest things I'm learning is how to stretch properly, right? I used to just go through that real fast, 5 minutes. Let's just do scapular mobilization. Let's move on. Well, no,
Right.
like if you're tight here, you're not going to be able to move your hand. So if
Right.
we're working on moving your hand, but you're tight here, or you're tight in, lots of times you're tight here in internal and external rotation. If you're tight here, you're not going to be able to move your arm at all because you're so tight, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
so looking at that and it's helped me take a step back. And I've learned a lot to kind of slow down, right? You want to
Yeah.
get so much, you want to get so much done in one therapy session. I have a list, boom, 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 boom. And you kind of go through those too fast. I've learned. I was going through those too fast. That I need to slow down and really look, okay, why are you not able to do this with your hand, do something? Well, it starts because you're so tight. There's
Yeah.
no way you're going to be able to move when you're so tight. So I really have slowed down, looked at the origin, and focused on why it's doing that, not just the effect of what's happening,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's been a change the way I view individuals who've had a stroke and work with individuals who've had a stroke, because it sometimes you just go so fast and you're like, we need to get this and this and this. Well, really, we're doing two activities and we're doing them the same. We're doing repetition. You might change the way you do it. So like an individual today, I had them weight bearing through their elbow sitting, and then we did it standing, but we were doing the same things because it's about that repetition. So we don't have to jump from activity to activity.
Right. Good.
Staying
Yeah.
in that, and when I find a sweet spot that we really need to work on, don't jump to the next one. Stay in that spot and really work on that. And I
Yeah.
think that's changed. And so it helps me be more in tune with what's happening in the session, right? If I have a thought, I do have a flashcard of what I kind of want to accomplish next. But if I focus on that versus focusing on the patient, right? And
Right.
I'm doing that, and I'm not really attuned to what their body's doing or the body mechanics of the activity, then I can just skip by it and move to the next activity. And that's not good.
Right.
And really attune to the patient and be like, okay, when you did that activity, that went weird. That was not a normal movement. Let's take a step back and work on that. And so really my sessions change as the session goes along, because I might see something that I'm like, ooh, that we need to work on that. Let's take a step back and slow down and work on that and work on this. And so I've learned to do that as I've gotten a therapist, not try to,
Yeah.
hopefully through life I've learned that, right? Not just doing, kind of slow down, attune to people, right?
Right. And I was
Make that
always,
connection with somebody
that's
and
exactly
look at
right.
their body and see what their body's doing, and like, and really watching every single body mechanic, what's going on and what the movement is, so I can kind of address that.
Now, I was always taught speed is not your friend because I'm always trying to, go and you guys have said that too to me. It's so funny because maybe that's a therapist type of thing. Speed is not your friend, because I always wanted to get things done quickly, and I'd end up falling or something. So many things. And what's your thoughts on Botox? For me, it helped me. I used it maybe 3 years ago for the last 4 years prior, every 3 months. And that helped me so much. Some people are not a believer in that.
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
There's different, definitely different thoughts on that. For me, I think if the tone is so, if you're so tight that I can't work with you, then it'd be great for you to get Botox, for me to loosen it up to work on that. Now, if you get Botox, I want you in my therapy gym like right away, like the next day. Don't get Botox and come to me a couple days later. Like, I want it right when it's loose so we can work on it. And that can help a lot. It's not, obviously, it's not a long-term solution, right? You can't constantly, and so that's the biggest thing. But if it helps me work on that patient's arm or that tightness, then go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's helpful. So it's helpful for me as a therapist to be able to work on an area that's so tight that I just can't, I can't even open. They're so tight, but that Botox kind of gives me that little edge to help.
Yeah, exactly. I was always taught also, this is back when I was doing this way back. Okay, I'm having a stroke moment. I can't remember what I was going to say. Clonus. I always had, that's only because I'm working so hard, or because when I was there, one of the therapists to me said, okay, they check this out. Look, so they snap my leg, and then it starts shaking. That's clonus, right? Or from fatigue.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, it can be fatigue. That muscle is just like overreacting because it's not used to firing, so it's just like over firing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's clonus, and so getting that under control, and like just kind of weight bearing down on that and kind of relaxing it, like calm down. Yep. Like, I know it's like, what are you doing to me? Kind of overreacting. But that's clonus, and hopefully has yours gone away?
Well, if I'm doing a lot, like walking outside, and we're doing when I left the facility there where you are, I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And now I'm walking, but I'm not getting the right exact therapy, that I need to have. So I'm lifting my hip. I can feel it, and I know I don't want to get stuck in that mode. But but sometimes if I'm getting tired, the clonus just. But then I have to wait there. Yeah. So, but it's so that's so the clonus, the weight bearing. I always told myself, because I thought I was the only one that had a stroke, because I didn't know what it was. I was 49 at the time, and I thought that's why I was embarrassed going to a stroke support group. I didn't want to be seen. So I don't know if people, you've seen that in your. Because I've missed the support group there with you, because you had a guest speaker there. I guess it's getting ready. How do they get ready to go out of the hospital? How do they? Because I've seen a lot of stroke survivors that when they go to rehab and then they're discharged, and then they just decide they're not doing anything because they forgot everything, or So, what's your thoughts on that?
As thoughts on just helping them keep going?
Yeah, like they're discharged, and we just don't say, see you later, have a nice day.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing. It's like, I've talked to patients about, hey, we had a stroke for me. It's like, that's not for me. That's not what I do. I like you were embarrassed or sat in the back and you were like, that's not, I don't go to those groups or and things like that. And just, I think that the biggest thing, and I'm so glad you have this, if they're kind of nervous to go, and I'm so glad because you had this resource, now I can give them this resource, that if you're nervous to go to a stroke support group and go and be seen, that you have this available here online, that they can just type it in. They don't have to be embarrassed by anything. They don't have to put their picture up. They can just kind of type in questions and get their resources. And so I'm so glad that you do this. And so I can give patients like, hey, if you don't want to come to a stroke support group, that's okay. But you do need to continue therapy and continue educating yourself. You can't stop educating yourself on on that. And so trying to tell them the other resources if they don't want to come. But I think that the biggest thing is making sure it's relevant for them. I said, okay, well, if you don't want to come, what kind of, we try to have like little brainstorming times with the individuals who come to stroke support group and what they want, what's important to them, what kind of guest speakers do they want. And so then I ask them, okay, why, if you don't want to come just because you don't think it's important, do you think, ask them like, what, do you have any questions about your stroke? And of course, there's always questions that they have. And so they, well, some of those questions can be answered. And so like, or I have a question about diet. Oh, we can bring a diet person in. Hey, remember and so getting their email, and so I can let them know, hey, we have a dietitian coming in next month. Why don't you come? And maybe if it's something topic relevant to them, try to get them to come one time. And once they come one time, then hopefully they can get that support that they need. But I'm so glad, that I can send them to Strive for Greatness too. And so.
Well, and that's the thing. I do this show usually. Well, not usually. I do it always on Tuesday and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Time. But so there's some like Paul Cummings at the show. There's so many like Salute, her and Tom. They have a show too. They do every morning. You said you've seen that one.
I've seen one. I watched part of it, and so I was kind of looking to see and kind of but that's cool. Yeah, they do that every morning. That's so many different great things.
Yeah, and we also like sometimes we have like different professionals like you, and like there's another gal, Dr. Karen Sullivan, back in back east on East Coast time, and she's a neuropsychologist.
Oh, great!
And she says that when you have a stroke, the doctor should send you to a neuropsychologist too, because there's so many emotional battles that we play. And I saw the guy when I was there. He had a stroke, and I knew exactly what he's going through. But the wife was just saying, "You need to get over it," the emotional battle. And he's a mess. And I wanted to step in, but I thought, it's not my place, and so I had to go away and not, support him emotionally. But
neuropsychology is good. And we have one here at the hospital, but I think that should be a requirement for them to see that, because it is a lot. It's a lot. You all in an instant, you lose your ability to do the things that you love to do. And so you can't, drum, different things that you like to do. It's just taken away instantly. Your life is completely different. And so that is a big emotional toll. And so kind of making sure that you take care of your mental health is really, really important. And seeing somebody, a neuropsychologist, would be great.
So there's one there or around? Or?
We do have one here. He's in-house. He only comes, I think, twice a week. His name is Dr. O'Rourke. He just started a couple of months ago just being our in-house. We used to call him in when we needed him, but now he's kind of more, permanent, like twice a week, kind of consistent with anybody who we feel like needs to have that consult. He's available.
Is he just inpatient or?
Right now he sees outpatient as well. He has people who come up from the outside, and then he just houses here. So he does both.
It'd be great to see him. I mean, though I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'd like to talk to him sometime. When I come back, because I want to come back. I'm just nervous of this virus.
Keep yourself.
Because I do have the masks. I have the shields. Barbara got everything. I mean, I got gloves. I got everything. They're yellow, but I wear them. So
Now I'm missing some of the comments. So am I missing something that I need to respond to? I'm so sorry. It just comes up and goes away. So I feel like
let's see.
Somebody's.
Let's see. Okay, let's start here since.
But
Danae.
And and some people love Botox, and some people take it. Going back to that, and then love it or don't love it. I love the real life redo. And then I know that I don't remember the person's name, but you said that Greg was in the ICU, and
Gene.
Gene, does he get therapy when he's there? That he's not getting ranged or moved at all in the ICU?
Let's see here. Let me see if I can find the comment here. No.
have we been? Yeah.
There, that one?
Yeah. So, yeah, I was having me, so I worked in his limits for him. Yeah. But there was a comment that she said, so I just wanted to see Naomi, because yeah, and that's the biggest thing, especially right now. Right now, a lot of places don't have family members that can come in, and we just started last week allowing one family member, and so they don't have any advocates for themselves, right? Especially if they
Right.
can't speak. And so that's a huge heart. That's where my heart really lies. It's just really being an advocate for patients. And so if a patient is not being ranged like that, the therapist, needs to get in there and advocating. Oh, be a regular. That's so nice, Donna. And so I think that is such my passion. I go to bat for a lot of my patients, and I get a little bit too passionate maybe, because it's a big thing, like not being having an advocate. He did, but I also work with him. Okay, Naomi, but and making sure that they're arranged. And that's the biggest thing. I see a lot where I have patients come in and they have such pain in their shoulder because the person just like wrenched their arm out and didn't make sure that everything was moving together. Everything
Yeah.
moves together. And if you don't take care of the scapula and do it, and you're just kind of moving their arm everywhere, you're gonna do damage. And so just really advocating for your family member, and or just talking to the therapist and asking them to be just the advocate, because that's especially when you can't be there every day, is a big deal, to make sure that they're getting the correct therapy.
Yeah. And Salute, her husband, Tom, is now back in the hospital. He had a stroke 5 years ago.
Okay.
And she is a big advocate. We talk quite a bit, her and I, like video chat, and she has them all, like the doctors and the whoever, they have her phone. They call her all the time while he's in the hospital, because I think that's great, because she is an advocate big time.
Good. And we work for you. You got to make sure that healthcare, we work for you. And
yeah.
so the other way around, and it can be turned around. And so really making sure that, like, I have to remind myself, like, you're the boss. Like, I know I have more information, so I know what you need to do. But really, as far as kind of what you need and what, we work for you. That's
Right.
the big,
No, I agree. Since I'll be a little selfish right now, I have subluxation. I've had it. So I just kind of lift myself. I don't know what else I can do for that, but
is it pretty big? So it's so technical how we measure it. Is it one finger, two fingers?
It's a good one finger, but I lift it up because when I was in the hospital the first time, I said to myself, I'm not going to be like this, because I've seen it. So I always kept my arm down all the time, kept my fingers spread out. But I did the subluxation.
Yeah. And there's a bounce that can happen. It's just the weight of your arm. Your humerus is falling out of that glenohumeral joint. And so you want to get rid of that tone, but then what you end up is that you have your arm hanging there, and then you can get that. So it's kind of a balance there, right? You want your arm to be there, but do you have any a subluxation sling or anything that you help protect to make sure it doesn't get worse?
My daughters, my wife, everybody said, why don't we get, my daughter worked at St. David's, not any longer, but she goes, I'll bring you home a sling. I didn't want one because I didn't want to end up stuck, like this.
Yeah, and you're not. So there's let me look it up on my phone and I'll show it to you. There's a shoulder subluxation sling, because I am such an advocate of helping with subluxation, but yeah, good. And so I was looking at Lynette Price 4 years ago when I have had my stroke. I couldn't hear and was
her last stroke. That was number 8.
Wow.
She's
but
amazing.
with the subluxation splint, it doesn't affect your hand, right? It helps pull you up. But like this one called the Give More. She wanted me there. Good, Nick. And it's one that I get from my patients.
Is the arm straight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not like this.
Yeah. Let me get it on my phone, and then I'll turn my phone around and show you.
Okay, and also if you guys have any questions,
yeah, I'll try to answer.
for Stacy right now, because I know we're getting close to the end here, but I'm looking at the comments here. Since like you mentioned about eyesight. Oops.
Okay. So can you see this?
Yes, I get. Okay. Wow. Is that Amazon?
And then it goes around your back like this. So
Oh,
this
I like
top part,
that.
right, sits
Yep.
there, and then it brings your shoulder, it brings it up, but it doesn't doesn't put your arm in any flexion. So I don't want a splint where your elbow is in flexion. I don't want any flexion ever. Never, never flexion. And so never bent, right? And so this helps, bring your shoulder up, and then, but it doesn't affect, you can still use your hand. You can still work on your hand movement and do everything, but that helps bring this part just up a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I like that. Because I was always thinking it's one of those slings you have to be,
Never. No, don't ever put a sling on, because then your elbow's, like that. And then the elbow is the most, the joint that's most susceptible to that.
Right.
So you don't ever want your elbow in that.
I'm trying to, they're flying by here.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I don't know if that, I take no prisoner. Oh, I think you said I got that on there. Okay. So this is Naomi to you.
Oh gosh, thank you. You're mine. I don't know. I want you on my team too, Naomi, when it's
Yeah, she's an advocate, and yes, you can make it. And yes, you can make it. I know. Sometimes, Lena is amazing. So thank you. There's a lot of people saying that. I'm gonna highlight the comments. She lives alone.
Yeah, you be your own advocate, and that's the thing. It's just like I have patients like, well, I didn't really. My doctor just said this, and that was it. And I'm like, stand up for yourself. This is a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You need that. Yeah.
I do. Did you look at that on Amazon or is it in a?
It didn't. It can come up on Amazon. This was
Or what's it called?
Came up. It's this shoulder subluxation splint. I can send it to you. I'll text you.
Yeah. That's perfect.
And so, yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, is there any other questions? If not, then do you have any other last parting words? What for the stroke stars and the care we get both all over.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the biggest thing is don't ever lose hope. Don't ever lose hope. This is a long journey, as life is, right? Life is a wonderful journey that it's a blessing.
Right.
And so don't lose hope. Like I said in the beginning, even those little itty bitty steps that you're improving, and your loved one's improving. And so write those steps down, take notes from the doctor, right? Like Silly said, write notes down from the doctor, write your improvements down. And don't ever stop being your own advocate, and don't ever stop learning. Continue listening to you guys, and seeks that support that you need, mental health, like we talked about, and the support you need to keep that hope, right? We're not meant to do it alone.
Right. Exactly.
We're meant to have groups and individuals to support us, and so yeah.
Salute is
Oh yeah. So great.
Yeah, just like Naomi, they don't take any prisoners.
No, and that's yeah. I see. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's all. What's that?
Yeah, I like her. Maybe a roller coaster ride, and it is. There's lots of ups and downs, and just like you guys know, you probably have a bad day, and you just I'm just having a bad day. Like my body's not moving the way I've been working so hard on everything, and and so I've been working so hard on everything, and I can't move this body. This body is not moving the way it's supposed to today, even though I've been working so hard. So you can have a bad day, but you gotta pick up and keep moving on, and it's hard. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lynette, any chance you can say what what do I say? I get it always wrong, Lynette, when I try to repeat your it's okay to get yourself. I say it wrong, but she did in the dumps, but you don't have a right to stay there.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah. And that's why you have each other. If you get in there, you have each other there to talk each other out. And that's one of my biggest things is encourage, like when I say I try to really encourage my patients, like, look how much, it's a little improvement that we got today. And
Right.
it's good. It's improvement. Like it doesn't matter how little or how big, we got improvement. And that's a big thing for me. And so I just love my job so much. It's so fun, and I love working with individuals, no matter their diagnosis. And it's just a blessing to talk with you today and just to
It's,
do what I do. So
you know what?
I love
Same here. And I appreciate everybody putting their comments in there. And I know Stacy does. It's so awesome, Stacy, to
it. Yeah.
get back connected with you. I know
Mm-hmm.
we've talked so many times, and they're just gonna. Um, but perfect. Okay, well, you can hang on for 1 second when
Oh
I
yeah.
shut this down. But
Okay.
thank you guys, and thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much.
Thanks.
And